Hi everyone, Eileen here, and today I'm going to talk about something that I like to do. I'm an abstract painter often, and so I'm going to introduce you to an artist named Kandinsky. But before I do, I want to ask you, have you ever noticed that when you listen to certain music, it gives you a certain energy? So different music that you listen to, if you just listen to the music, sometimes you can imagine things. You can imagine colors and pictures, and maybe you can imagine a place that you have been or you might want to be. So different music gives you some different feelings. There's an artist who discovered this for himself back at the turn of the century, in the late 1800s. His name was Wasily Kandinsky. That kind of sounds abstract right there. He's a Russian artist, and he started painting when he was 30. But when he was younger, he played the cello and the piano, and he studied law and economics and things that, to him, he didn't want to stay in that world anymore. He liked to also draw and paint. So when he was 30, he started painting. So he started painting things that looked real, like landscapes and trees and people. But then he found that he did not want to paint things that you could see. He wanted to paint things from his imagination. And we call this abstract art. So abstract means things that exist in thought or as an idea, but not having a physical, concrete existence. So for example, you can think about things that don't really have, you can't see. You can't see love, right? But you can draw things that might mean that. So anyway, he believed that pictures that he painted used colors as their vocabulary, and he believed that music had its own colors. So abstract means his paintings may not resemble anything that you've seen before. And as you can see in this painting, it's called Composition 10. And in Composition 10, take a look at this and look at the various shapes that are formed. Some of the shapes repeat. Some of them almost look like cut paper cutouts. Some shapes look like something you might recognize, maybe. So he used a lot of these different shapes in his pieces, and this piece is very bold, kind of an interesting piece. Let's look at the next slide. So this is Composition 4, and Composition 4 is very different from the last one. Can you see things that he uses in this one that are familiar to you? Maybe you'll see shapes in there that remind you of something that's almost drawn but not completely. Maybe you see things that could be trees or buildings. Or for me, I see something very familiar in this piece. Let's see if you see it. It's something you might see on a rainy day. So let's look at the next piece. And so we can see Kandinsky's next piece. It's called 30, or treinta in Spanish. So why did he call it 30? Why do you suppose? To me, could it be the answer to a math problem or a multiplication problem? To give you a clue, you might want to count the squares and see how many they are. Anyway, inside each of these squares, we're going to look at them, And you're going to practice maybe copying a couple of his shapes and figures in the squares. So we'll take a little time now for you to look at all these symbols and squares and pick out a few that you might want to copy too. So take your pencil and your paper, and you can start drawing a few of these symbols. So I'll draw a couple too. Interesting shapes. Wavy lines come around. Just mark making some of them. Now, of course, mine won't look just like his, but I'm just observing what they look like. You might want to hold your pencil on the number 2 position that you might have learned earlier to make lines thicker. And then he had these little boxes. Maybe you can see which one I'm trying to draw, but I can't copy it exactly. So go ahead, pick out some others that you would like to draw, and then we'll come back together and we will do some abstract drawing. So we're going to be abstract artists today, and that means we're going to be listening to a few pieces of music and letting our pencils kind of go with the music. And you can use colored pencils, you can use crayons, whatever you have. Even if you have markers, they would be fun to use too. So we're going to let our tools move with the music. We'll listen to the music, and as we listen, we'll draw what we feel. I'll get you started for this one, and you can just watch me as this next piece of music starts. Okay, so now you get a little bit of an idea. Actually, you can You can pause the video and rewind it. If you like that piece of music, you can listen to it again and try the same thing. The next thing we're going to do is let you get started on your own new piece with a new piece of music. So, I'll play a piece of longer music, not quite longer, but a different one. Get all of your art tools out and ready so that you can grab them at any time. So again, you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, Sharpies, anything you happen to have to start this next piece. I'll play a little music and you're going to draw anything you think of when you start to hear the music. Keep going until the music stops and see what you have. How did that feel to just let the music move over your paper in the way of lines and curves and pencils and crayons? Did the music make you think of a color in particular? What shapes can you find in your drawing? Are there curvy lines? Are they heavy or straight? Is there anything you recognize in your drawing? Perhaps a person or an animal or something else. What did the music make you feel? We're going to let you try it one more time with another piece of music. This is called Unexplored. This is going to be a little more high energy and a little bit mysterious. So grab your pencils and your crayons and your watercolor markers or anything you have and get ready for the next piece of music. Get ready for Unexplored. So welcome back. So was this drawing different than the piece you did before? How was it different? What kind of energy did you have? How did the music make you feel? Well, this is what Kandinsky was doing when he was painting his pieces. And you know that art that you make is uniquely yours. You make it for yourself. You can share it with others, but you don't have to. It's yours. It can be shapes and colors and lines that pop right out of your heart and onto the paper. It's your expression, and you can keep it for yourself or others. That's your choice. So what we did today in class is something you can practice anytime at home. You don't need me to get you started. You go look for a piece of music and get your sketchbook out and let your imagination go its own way and keep creating. Okay? See you next time.